Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. So guess what I'm doing today? If you guessed planting, you're right. So today I'm back up here in my orchard, Best for the West garden. It's starting to look good. It's starting to fill in. Let me show you a couple of the perennials that I just planted just a couple days ago. I have these hot and cold Niphofias that I like, as soon as I put them out and they started getting some really hot sun, the color just intensified. Look at how pretty that is. It is ombre. It is an ombre plant. It's so pretty. Then I planted these Russian sage right here, one there, all the way kind of over there. And then I did plant some more of the hot and cold Niphophia over there. Let me show you this Romantica ball gown rose. Look at how beautiful this thing is. Oh my goodness, all my roses are going crazy. I like that magic mix. The Van Winden's magic mix is just the best thing. My mom texted me and said it was just the best thing for her roses. Her roses are loving it. I'll put it on the screen again right now. You scratch it in once you see 3 to 6 inches of growth on your roses. And then I get this question a lot. That's it for the year for the magic mix. Every 4 to 6 weeks after that first application, then you just put regular rose fertilizer on. So just once a year you do that magic mix. Over here in the espalier bed where I've done kind of my black and white color scheme, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if this is working out. So I have these beautiful black Mondo gas from Isley Nursery. They sent me these. They're beautiful. I still have more of them. I can't wait to get them in the ground. These do not spread for us. A couple of you commented that your black Mondo grass spreads a ton. Ours doesn't at all. Like I wish it spread more. But then I have these bush morning glories, and they are not performing at all. If you can see, I do not have a single bloom right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's, oh, I do have a really good weed right here. I didn't get it. So yeah, not a single one. So I don't know, maybe they need different, like more acidic soil or something like that. I don't know, but I kind of feel like this is a fail. I'm going to leave them in, but I do want some white because my whole goal for this garden bed was to have like a black and white theme scheme, and it doesn't look like that at all right now. So I might go get some white annuals just to kind of fill in until I figure out what's going on with the bush morning glory. And then you can see my zigzag planter is looking pretty good right now. So this daffodil blend is the Bloom Factory mix. I keep going back and forth. It's very pretty. I don't love it. It's very pretty. Next year I'm doing just the regular straight yellow daffodils. The reason why there was one moment in time where I was just like, oh, it's beautiful. I love it. And that's because the white blooms and the yellow blooms were going at the same time. But the white blooms bloomed sooner than the yellow blooms. So now it's just all the yellow blooms. And so it's kind of like the white blooms start, then there's the mix of the two of them, then the white blooms have faded, and now it's just the yellow. So it's fine. It's a good mix. I really like the one that I did last year, which was spring loaded. That blend, A+, 10 out of 10. That was a 10 out of 10 blend. This one, I'll give like a 7, I'll say. The plant that I will give a 10 out of 10, which all you know, and you've heard me talk about it a million times. This is Super Beena Pink Cashmere. This is leftover from last year. I left it in these pots. I did nothing to it. I didn't even water it over the winter, and it's doing well. It's looking a little raggedy. It needs to be cut back is what it needs to be, but I'm not going to cut it back until I actually do transplant it. And I'm not totally sure where I'm going to transplant these because I am going to have the pink cashmere all in the zigzag planter. So we'll just, we'll kind of see how it goes. So what I'm getting in the ground today, I'm going to plant in this garden bed right around the iceberg roses. It needs something, right? I am planting, first off, I'm planting Meteor Shower Verbena. Now, this is Verbena bonariensis. I love Verbena bonariensis. It's very, very easy to grow by seed. The problem with growing it by seed is that it does spread spread like crazy. At least for me in my climate. I'm sure it's different in other climates. And if you live in a climate that you can grow up from seed and it doesn't spread, my goodness, do it, because it's a beautiful plant. I will never plant Verbena bonariensis from seed again because it spread everywhere in my last garden. And probably the people who bought my house are still getting these seedlings out of there. I tried my best, but they just kept coming back year after year after year. So that's the reason why I love the meteor shower verbena so much, is that these are bred to be sterile. And that means they take all their energy, and instead of putting it towards setting seed, which is going to cause seedlings, it puts it towards the beautiful blooms, which is exactly what we want. I did have someone in the comments section ask if being a sterile plant affects the pollinators liking it. And I have to be honest, I don't know, but from my experience, the pollinators loved this plant. I have tons and tons and tons of pictures on my phones of the bees all over this particular plant at my last garden. I'll see if I can find one right now. And so what I'm thinking is that it probably still creates pollen, but it doesn't actually create seed. But I will definitely look into that and see if I can find a better answer. But just from my experience, the bees were still all over this, and the swallowtail butterflies all over this. So I'm going to be planting those, and I think I'm going to be planting them kind of right around the iceberg roses right here. And then to go in front of that, I'm going to do the lemon coral sedum, which I think will look really pretty. Look at that difference in foliage color. I think that's gorgeous. And then lemon coral is just, it's just such a staple plant for me. I want these all over my garden because look at how bright it is. I mean, look at that. This garden needs this color in here. And it will stay this color all season long, and it'll be so beautiful. If you put this in shade, because it can handle a little bit more shade. It says part sun, but I've done it in like pretty low levels of light. It does get a little bit more like yellow almost, which is not my favorite. I'm more like the chartreusey green, but if you can't help it and you have like a garden bed that's half shade, half sun, this would be a good option for you. So anyway, I'm going to plant these two together. I'm going to be using my twist and plant today. This is my auger, and this auger is the perfect diameter for these grande cans right here. So it just makes it like so incredibly easy to plant. And then because these are annuals, I will be using the premium continuous release plant food, and I'll just do a scoop of this in each hole. And this stuff is heat activated, and so as it gets hotter and hotter, it's going to release some fertilizer for these plants. So if you do miss the water soluble watering, it's okay. And then plus, this is actually really important for those of us in hot weather because we water so much more than everybody else. The nutrients get diluted out of the soil so much quicker than everybody else. So having something like this as a backup is really, really important. So before I get started planting, I have to show you all my new garden organization attempt. So for those of you who know, I have lost my tape measure that I use for spacing in my garden. It's somewhere. I know it's somewhere. I just don't know where it is. And then I'm pretty sure I have a trowel over there. I'm like constantly losing my garden supplies. Since we moved into this house, we are so unorganized. It's ridiculous. We're so unorganized. So I'm really focusing on trying to be more organized so that I can save time, because there are times that before I start gardening, I spend like 20, 30 minutes looking for my supplies, which is just dumb. Like that is just, I know how stupid that is. So I was up late one night, I couldn't sleep, and I was just on Amazon just looking for something. And so this is what I've decided I'm going to try for right now. The reason why I wanted one of these buckets is because I have a lot of weeds in my garden that I tend to clean up as I'm planting. I'll just kind of pull weeds as I'm planting. So I think it'll be really nice to have a bucket that I can put weeds in. So then by having that bucket, and then let me just say, I always have the orange Home Depot bucket hanging around, and it's really ugly, and I thought it would be so much prettier to have like a prettier dark green bucket. So I did get this from online on Amazon. And so with having the bucket, I thought I would try one of these bucket caddies, and this one seemed pretty cool. And this just has all the tools that I tend to use most of the time, right? Most of the time. I'll probably think of something else that I'm forgetting. This is the brand that I ended up choosing. Look at my new tape measure. It's very exciting. And it has its own spot so that I don't lose it anymore. I'm trying. I am trying here. So I have this weeder. I think it's called a Japanese hand weeder. This is from the Blvd brand, and I love this brand. It's like the best, absolutely the best. So I have this. Then one of you sent me this, and you guys use this as a weeder and to take the seedlings out of seed starting cell trays. But I've been using this actually as a weeder, and it's really, really helpful. I'll see if I can find this online. I don't know. I have my pruners. I have this new one. This is another one that I just bought. This is the Ninja Weeder, and it's from the same brand, Blvd, which is, like, in my opinion, I think that that's one of the best gardening tool brands. This little thingy I have started using so much more than I ever thought I would. I got it kind of just for fun, and then I just find myself constantly going, where's my dibbler? Where's my dibbler? And it's just so that you can make a little hole for a seedling or like a seed or something like that. Plus it has this measurements on it, which makes it really, really handy. I have my garden saw. I have my garden shears, which these are a game changer. These are actually scissors, but they're heavy duty scissors, so that if I have landscape fabric, I can cut through the landscape fabric, or I can cut through irrigation supplies. So that's really nice. I have my garden marker, and then I do have my seed or my plant tags over there, so I got to go grab those. I have this wrench that I've been using to tighten universal couplers for my irrigation. It just makes it easier on my hands. I have my trowel. This one is the Blvd brand again, but this one is from Gardener's Supply. Basically, the Blvd brand sells to garden centers, and then you can they can get them engraved. So you'll see different garden centers with their names engraved, but it's all the Blvd brand. I hope I'm saying that right. Blvd. I think I am. And then I have my gloves, and these are just new gloves I'm trying out to see if I like them. They looked good. They looked like the type of gloves I like. And then they have this little Velcro on the end, which makes me think that it will keep the dirt from getting into my gloves, but we'll see. I'm going to try and use these today. So anyway, and then plus I stocked up on some of my biotone so I can start using this stuff. I had been using some other stuff from Master Start because I just got it at the garden center. But I did find this online, and it was actually cheaper than my local Ace Hardware. So I don't want to say that, but it was significantly cheaper. So it's not always more expensive online, which is shocking. So anyway, there's that. Oh, and then the last thing is I have my drill, and then I have my auger. So this drill is an 18-volt drill. Yeah, it's an 18-volt drill. So you can use an 18-volt drill with a small auger, this size auger, no problem, right? But if you want to use the bigger drill, the bigger auger, the one I use is from Power Planter, and it's 7-inch diameter, 28-inch long. You have to get the bigger drill. You have to get the 60-volt drill. I'm sorry. I know it's more expensive. Don't waste your time trying to use this drill on the bigger auger, because it's just not going to work unless you have beautiful, beautiful soil. But then at that point, you probably don't need an auger anyway. So congratulations. Okay, let me get all these laid out to where I want them to be. I'm not totally sure where I want them, so I'll probably mess around a little bit. I do have some weeds I want to go in here and I want to get, and then some deadheading I want to do over on my ranunculus over there. And luckily, I have all my supplies. right, I've got these guys placed where I want them. I wanted this little grouping to be the view to be this way, because this is how we walk out of our house. We kind of walk out this way, and it'll be so nice to kind of look at that over there and have the iceberg roses in the background. So iceberg roses get about 4 feet tall, so 48 inches tall. Meteor shower verbena is a step down from that. They get about 30 inches tall max. And then the lemon coral sedum get about 10 inches tall. So I think the white, the purple, and then the chartreuse green will be perfect. So let's get planting. And all done. I've got the lemon coral sedum and the meteor shower verbena all tucked in their new beds. I've got everything watered in, including the plants here in the orchard, the West Garden, that are not on drip, which is pretty much everything. So I'm gonna be working on that. But I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've never been so organized gardening. Look, guys, I put my tape measure back in its new home. I put my pruners back in their new home. I put all the sticks and weeds and deadhead stuff in here so I can get rid of it. I've got all my cans there that I can put in the compost. By the way, these are the, what are they called? Eco Plus Grande. These are compost ready. So you just put them straight in the compost. You can plant them with, like, you can just take this whole thing and plant it in the ground. I don't, like, it takes it like a while to break down. So I would rather not do that. I'd rather just stick it straight in my composter. Let me show you the plants that I got planted. It's kind of hard. Whenever you plant annuals, they're kind of small, so you can't really see much of what's going on. But in just a couple weeks, this is going to be so, so pretty. So we've got the meteor shower verbena, kind of a swath of that. And then a little area, a little chunk of lemon coral sedum that's going to grow up. I don't think it's going to quite touch. I think it's going to look more like little mounds, but I'm okay with that. I think that that looks really pretty. The iceberg roses will continue to grow. You can see this is kind of just their first flush of blooms, and then each flush of blooms gets taller and taller and taller, and it's going to get about to 4 feet tall, which is going to be so pretty. And then I did deadhead all my ranunculus. They're about done. I am going to leave the ranunculus corms right there. I'm going to let the foliage soak up the sun, even though I think a lot of them have already soaked up enough sun. And I'm just not even going to think about them. And then we'll wait until next year and we'll see if they come back. Pretty much I've only planted ranunculus and anemones and taken them out of the ground, because I've always planted in places where I've wanted to take them out. I've wanted to use that area for something else. So this will be my first chance actually leaving the corms in the ground in my garden and seeing how they do. So that's going to be it for my planting today. Monty has been taking a nap this whole time, and I can hear him yelping for me. We put him in his crate for nap, so he's saying, "Get me out." So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.